everyone.
The NFC North Division Preview on Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by the SGPN app. You can get all our picks and podcasts with the free SGPN app.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you're listening to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at J Mark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I keep going, I got to introduce my co-host on the pod and in life, even though I feel like we're switched on the video compared to normal. You can find her on the X at the Mur. Mark, you're over there and I'm over here. This is confusing me. How you doing today, Mur?
Doing good. Doing good.
Sorry, that really threw me. I just all of a sudden looked up and I was like, wait a minute.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
We're gonna blame it on that. We never do pods on Monday.
That's true. But do we look backwards, right?
I don't know. Crazy. I don't know if we're backwards or not. I don't know if I pay attention to that.
I'm usually in front of me. It doesn't matter. We're talking NFC North.
We are. The
Bears division. Mm-hmm. We're just going to say a bunch of positive stuff about the Bears, say a bunch of bad stuff about the other teams. That's
especially the Packers.
Especially the Packers. That's how the show will go, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Probably. Absolutely.
Yeah. But we're breaking down the NFC North division preview. We have a special guest.
We do. He's a Packer fan, but he's all right for a Packer fan. I'll say that.
Kind of the usual for our division previews. We'll go over offseason changes. You'll talk some best bets.
Yeah.
Thoughts on win totals. And, of course, we'll sprinkle in some fantasy football.
Just a little fantasy football. I'm excited to talk about this division. Everybody knows that I am a very passionate Bears fan, and I got you into the Bears when we I don't know if it was when we first met. I think I broke that in a little bit. Yeah. But got you into the Bears, got you really into football, and I guess the rest was history.
Yeah.
And then we got into whiskey. And speaking of whiskey, what are we drinking today?
Today, with Whiskey Stones again.
Yes,
I will point that out. It was so much better. We are drinking Basil Hayden's Dark Rye, so we'll finish out the month of June with our last Basil Hayden.
Yeah, you've been waiting for this one, right?
Yes.
I mean, not to bury the lead,
Spoiler
but
alert.
we've had it before. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the chat. Caleb on the cover. Love it. Go Bears. You're not backwards. Oh, good. We're not backwards then. Appreciate that, Mom and Dad. And Josiah says, wow, you guys sound really good today. Almost like you're just in the other room. It's the excellent microphones.
Yeah.
Sure, microphone.
It's a good thing that we almost didn't test.
Yeah.
You didn't even have it plugged in, Justin.
That's true. I sometimes I forget to test. I brought up the camera and everything, tested that, and then I was like, all right, let's test the mic, and it was on the camera microphone because I didn't have our stuff plugged in.
Rookie mistake
That happens. We're gonna bring the guest in just a second here, but before we do, got to let you know that 162 games means there is always tons of baseball action to bet on. I know our guest likes baseball as well. Check out the MLB Gambling Podcast wherever you get your podcasts and cash with them. All right, we already alluded to the fact that our guest is a Packer fan, but he's also a good guy. He owns an awesome bar. If you are ever in the Des Moines, Iowa area, make sure you look up the Flying Moose. It's worth going to. Awesome prices. And yeah, you've seen him on the show before. If you've joined us, it's RD. RD, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Excited. Are you as excited to talk Packers as I am to talk Bears?
Yes, I'm less excited to talk the Bears, but only because I don't know how much bad stuff I have to say.
That
We like
absolutely.
it. We like it.
Well, you can't always say that about the Bears, so
That's true.
Very true.
I co-host a podcast with Colby Dant, who, if you guys know Colby, you know he hates domes. So as the Bears prepare to probably move into a dome, he was asking me, how can you even stand to continue to be a fan? You should just drop them. You can pick a new team, right? And I told him, I said, do you know how many years I suffered as a Bears fan? Now that we're finally doing well, I'm not jumping ship. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Even though they're moving to Indiana.
I know. It's
so weird.
it's very weird.
Like the Kansas City one isn't as weird just because, it's still Kansas City.
Right.
It's just the other side of the border.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears not at Soldier Field. I mean, that's a disappointment.
It is. It's a historic stadium. I still go off the fact that, of course, I love outdoor football. You get that lake effect win that the other teams aren't used to. You're used to it because you're practicing there.
We have an advantage over,
and you're giving that up.
Teams from warmer climates.
You're giving it up so that you can potentially host a Super Bowl.
Yeah, can you even call him the Iceman if they go to the dome?
Right? No.
I mean, I'm just saying.
He did get rejected. The trademark. He tried to trademark the Iceman, and that was rejected. So
Chuck Liddell said no.
Yep, said I don't think so. So, the Indiana Bears, Josiah says.
No,
they won't change the name.
No,
yeah,
they're not going to change the name. Speaking of Bears, should we jump right into them?
I'm ready.
All right.
You ready for this?
We're rolling.
So we won our division last season with our 11-6 record.
You rubbing that in a little bit?
Absolutely. But yeah, really in the offseason, the Bears didn't have a ton of turnover. I would say our biggest loss would be on the offensive line, where center Drew Dalman retired at the age of 27.
Must be nice.
The Bears' offensive line was very good last year, so I'm wondering, how that affects them.
Yeah,
I mean it's got to affect them. And they also lost some defensive pieces, including cornerback Nashawn Wright, safeties Kevin Byard, and Jaquan Brisker. Both Wright and Byard were very good at creating turnovers. So I don't know, but we did bring in some.
We brought in some talent.
To replace them. I'm gonna go ahead and go over our free agency, what we did in the free agency, and then let you cover draft.
And then I'll do draft, and then we'll get RD's thoughts.
All right. So to make up for one of the losses in the secondary, they signed former Seattle Seahawks safety Kobe Bryant, who will be younger and I think a better version than Byard.
Yeah.
You can usually tell a player's value based on how the former team or the former fan base reacts.
They were upset.
And I noticed with this one, people were very upset that he was gone. So that makes me even more excited.
Right. Yeah. I saw multiple people. This was supposed to be our franchise guy, and they were upset. And
then another big move that they made was bringing in linebacker Devin Bush to replace Tremaine Edmonds. He's a faster version of Edmonds. He can cover a lot better, I think.
He can cover a lot better. Edmonds did get burned in coverage a lot.
Yes. And we brought back Jack Sanborn.
Sandman.
We
got the Iceman and the Sandman.
And he played, this is just after he played for Dallas for a year. He was a fan favorite during his time with the Bears.
He was. People love the Sandman.
And then on offense, here, I'll just wrap this up. We signed wide receiver Khalif Raymond. That's reuniting him with Ben Johnson.
Yeah. And I think that's a good move because he knows Ben Johnson's offense, knows what to expect, and he's a veteran. He's been in this league. He's going to get some, I feel like, third down conversions. Khalif Raymond's going to be a big part of that. I'm going to talk about the draft picks real quick, and then we'll ask RD his thoughts. But I thought they had a killer draft. I know I'm biased, but here are the top picks. So first we get this stud safety, Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. That kid can fly, and Dennis Allen's going to line him up in all sorts of creative ways. And then I know RD can't shit on this pick because he's an Iowa Hawkeye fan. In the second round, they took Iowa Hawkeye center Logan Jones. We know that Iowa makes great linemen. They got wide receiver Xavier Thomas. I know a lot of people thought that was too high. They got a tight end, another one, Sam Roush, out of Stanford. Cornerback Malik Muhammad. He was the 8th ranked cornerback. He didn't go until he was the 15th cornerback taken. So it might have been some really good value there. Later in the draft, they also got defensive tackle Jordan Vandenberg, the Vanilla Gorilla. Like I said, I think they nailed it. And Sam Roush, I know a lot of people, why do they need another tight end? He had the highest athletic grade among tight ends in the draft class. And Ben Johnson loves to run 2 tight end sets. So it's important. I know we've got Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet, but all 3 will be involved. So, RD, after we just gave a mouthful of Bears that you had to sit through, what are your thoughts on their offseason?
I think they had a good offseason. I think the Logan Jones pick. I'm so sick of Hawkeyes going everywhere else in the North. Packers have a couple, but it's like the rest of the North just drafts Hawkeyes so consistently. It's so
yeah.
But I think that's a great pick, especially after you guys' center retired early. My biggest questions is going to be the back end of the defense.
Yeah.
I think they did enough everywhere else on the defense where they'll stay steady. I love the Devin Bush signing. May hurt in the run game, but that's where you guys were strong.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that, I don't think it hurts more so than what you're going to gain from his pass coverage. He's way faster, a little bit smaller, but that's fine in coverage. And again, like you guys said, I love the Khalif Raymond signing just because I think you're going to have Adunze and Burden on the outside primarily.
Yeah.
And just like you were talking about on third down in those situations, I think they're going to put Raymond, the veteran, in the best spot for him to make a grab. And so I think he's going to get moved all over. And I think Ben Johnson brought him in for a specific reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially after letting DJ, trading DJ Moore, which was, in the tea leaves anyway. But I thought it was a great pivot. One had to go, but I think Raymond's going to be a valuable asset for the Bears this year.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I think one of the, biggest kind of storylines around all the changes and everything for the Bears is if the defense can improve enough so that the Bears don't have to come back in every single game. That was so frustrating.
We had a lot of come from behind. I mean, we won a lot of come from behind victories, but it would have been nice to just have a lead.
We do have a tougher schedule this year.
That's all right.
But
not worried.
I'm not either. And you keep saying this is the next Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes QB combo.
It could be.
Yeah. Do you think
if Caleb can make the strides going into this season where the accuracies and the consistency in the first 3 quarters is addressed, we know he's got ice in his. He's earned the name.
Yeah.
There's no denying it. In the fourth quarter, when the lights are on, he makes plays that a lot of guys can't make. He's got, 8-pound, sack down there. He's got cojones. He is. It's infuriating. It's like when in the playoff game and that last game that they played against each other, there were a lot of Bears and Packers fans at the Moose, and a lot of Packers fans were getting all hot and ready to go like it was over. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, especially in the playoffs, it was like, we just saw this 2 weeks ago. Like, you can't just think it's over. And sure enough, so if he can get more consistent in the first 3 quarters of the game, and like Mir was saying, that defense improves, they got to prove it on the back end with as much, not that the guys they haven't proved it or they're not good draft picks, but we haven't seen it with the Bears yet as a unit. So if that unit can improve, even though it's a bunch of new guys, Caleb improves. Everything else, not much else has changed.
Yeah.
The fact that they have the 3rd best odds to win the division is a joke. A joke.
Well, let's talk about the win total and the division price. So they're 9.5. The over is plus 100. Under is minus 120. I'm biased, but I'm smashing the over. What do you think, RD? Since you're a Packer fan.
I think it'll be tighter, but I would also agree you take the over. I definitely, there's no chance I take the under there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, their division price is plus 305. Again, I'm biased, so I'm taking it.
What's crazy to me is, and we're going to get to this, but the Lions didn't do anything that wowed you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And to still be the leading, the lowest odds to win the division, it's just crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't understand it. So, I mean, I would say take the over on the Bears wins, bet the Bears to win the division. And if you can, bet Bears, Packers 1-2. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it's a bad bet grouped together.
Absolutely. I agree. A couple other bets that I like them to make the playoffs at minus 108. I like Caleb Williams over 3,600, or I guess 3,624 and a half passing yards at minus 115. He did it last year. I think he's going to do it again. Now, here's a little fun one. If you want a plus money one, the Bears open up the season they're on the road against the Panthers and the Packers. At home, they play the Vikings, the Eagles, the Jets. The Packers and the Eagles are the only games there that scare me. And I'm going to be biased against the Packers. And we bullied the Eagles last year. Bears to start 5-0. It's plus 900. It's 9-1. RD, any Bears bets that you have to throw out, or any thoughts on mine?
I have not been betting enough, so I like yours. The 5-0, not saying not possible, but not being biased. Out of the last 8 quarters, and I'm not doing this to pipe up the Packers, I'm just asking a legitimate question. Dominated for 6 of the 8 quarters. Yes, 2-0. But without the bias, how confident are you that can continue in division games?
It's impossible to take my bias out. I'm going to say it absolutely can continue. Yeah, no, you bring up a good point. I mean, what are the odds that a team can just continue to come from behind? What are the odds they can go against a team like the Packers that know them well enough because they play them twice a year? Where you're absolutely right. The Packers were winning 6 of those 8 quarters. It was just the fourth quarters. It was the closer. So the Packers don't need to do much to turn that around. I feel like the Bears need to do more on their side to turn their side around so that they're not losing 6 of 8 quarters.
Yeah,
so,
well, and I think they need to just continue to get better, improve in the areas we've talked about, and that gets you closer to a 1 seed, as opposed to continuing to play those tight games. Because we can talk about the Vikings, what Kirk Cousins was 3 years ago, 13-3, but they were, all of it was 1 scores. The following year, they didn't win those games.
Right.
So as long as they can improve and not be the same team offensively and defensively as last year, there's no reason to think that they can't continue to improve and, be fighting for the division all year long.
Yeah, agreed. Do you have any fantasy football players you're targeting on the Bears? I mean, besides all of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
No, but for real, though, I would draft all of them. Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, Adunze, Luther Burden, Colson Loveland.
A lot of dogs.
Really all of them. You can't go wrong drafting any of them.
Yeah.
Colson Loveland, I think he's going to be a top 5 tight end this year. He's currently he's being drafted tight end 3, I think.
That's a little crazy. I mean,
it's weird.
I know he's damn good, but after it was just the second half of the season that he kind of broke out. To have him going 3rd now, it's interesting.
Adunze is going at wide receiver 28, which I think is a steal for him. Swift is going at RB 24, and Caleb Williams is going at around the QB 6 spot right now, which, I mean, that seems right. But really, I always give you like who I would draft and whom I might be avoiding, but I'm not avoiding any of the Bears players this year. Yeah,
I think they're priced pretty well. RD, you play a lot of fantasy football. Are you? Is it making you sick every time you go up to the board and put up a Bears name because you got to have a piece of the offense?
I don't care about teams when it comes to fantasy football. I just want to win.
Just want to win.
I need to get there. I can never put my bias aside. I can't do it.
I've done it too many times to talk about. So I buy Caleb 6. I think he can go higher than that, but I also think his floor is lower than that.
Yeah.
So if you're getting him at 6, fine. I wouldn't take him any higher than that as far as quarterbacks off the board. This is my shock factor quote. I'm not sure what to think of the wide receiver room. Not that I think it's a very talented room, but with those 3 wide receivers, you're still feeding running backs, especially if that Ben Johnson offense continues to evolve into more of what it was in Detroit.
Yeah.
3 tight ends, maybe Komet's starting to get phased out potentially, but you're going to have to see that rookie step up first. I worry that it could get Packerish, not that they're not going to put up decent numbers for the year, but are you going to be so boom or bust week to week? You know, is it going to be Rome this week, Burden next week, Loveland next, so I'm not reaching for them, but if I get them where their ADP is, I'm definitely not turning away from them because I have faith in the offense.
Sure.
I just don't know that especially in the wide receiver room, I don't know that anybody is just going to shoot up to a top 10 fantasy wide receiver when there's just so much, what looks to be so much talent on that entire offense.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think when Caleb throws for 500 yards a game, there'll be enough to go around. Just kidding. I'm not that unrealistic.
Okay. Pre-playoffs, did he get the 4K last year?
No.
Okay.
No, he fell just shy of it.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. The new year, though. Loveland over 5.5 touchdowns for plus 100 easy money. Nick Fortune says absolutely.
He's going to get it in 2 games.
Yeah, right.
There will be 2 games throughout the year where he gets 3 touchdowns. It'll happen.
Yeah, I believe it. We're going to talk about RD's Packers in just a second, but first I got to let you know that we're brought to you by the Circa. The greatest NFL handicap contest is back and better than ever with $30 million in prizes. There's $20 million for Circa Survivor, $6 million for Circa Million, and $4 million for the Grandissimo. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere. Circa Sportsbook also now takes Bitcoin. Can you take Doge? I need to get rid of some Doge. Head to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGPN to get $50 off your proxy fees because you're going to need one unless you live in Vegas. And you get 15% off your stay at Circa with promo code SGP15 during the Circa sign-up weekend, which, by the way, that's August 27th through the 29th. There's going to be SGP guys there, so make sure you go check it out.
We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Whether it's spread, money lines, totals, and parlays, they are all available on Underdog Fantasy, and you can play these in Iowa now. So go sign up if you haven't. This is huge.
It is.
You also can get in on the World Cup, the MLB, and the CFL. And the best part is that Underdog is available in a ton of states, including now playing them in Iowa.
Yeah, the sports book in Iowa.
Yes. Underdog also has an awesome offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code OFFSGPN.
All our Iowa friends better be running over there, throwing our code in there. Should we jump right into the Packers? The team that finished second in the North, they were 9-7-1. I'm going to kind of turn this over to you, RD, to talk about what their offseason was like, what you thought of it, and some of the moves they made.
Absolutely. I don't have my lovely wife, so you're going to hear a lot of my voice. I got everything loaded up. I'll start off with the guys we lost. Outside linebacker Rashawn Gary, wide receiver Romeo Dobbs, guard turned center Elgin Jenkins, inside linebacker Quay Walker, backup quarterback Malik Willis, defensive lineman Kingsley Enagbare, and wide receiver Dontavian Wicks. There's more than that, but those are, we'll call the main story. Additions via free agency: defensive tackle Javon Hargrave from the Vikings, cornerback Benjamin St. Juste, I believe he was a Charger, inside linebacker Zaire Franklin from the Colts. As far as just getting into departures and additions before we get into the draft, Rashawn Gary, I feel like the time had come. The contract was big, but when you fail to take a step forward with Micah Parsons on the other side, and we got up to 8 weeks without him, you're getting paid to be better than that, and you weren't doing it. So I don't think that hurts a ton. I hate losing Dobbs contractually, especially after the Christian Watson extension, Jaden Reed extension, both happened. You just couldn't pay him. I mean, especially with a first-round draft pick in Matthew Golden last year. So I hate to see him go. He's a great third-down wide receiver. He catches everything. He is going to be – I think he's going to be in a very similar role in New England. Quay Walker, you lose some youth, but he would make some just dummy plays a bit too often. Stinks to lose Malik. It is what it is. He was going to get paid. Dontavian Wicks, Kingsley Allen-McBari, role players, so it'll hurt, but hopefully you bring in other free agents to fill those. Javon Hargrave on the addition side, going to strengthen the middle to hopefully make the edges a little easier for both Van Ness and Micah when he's back. I love the Zaire Franklin trade. In the fact that we lost Quay Walker, who, like I said, would make big splash plays, but then would make boneheaded penalties and silly things. And now you're getting Mr. Steady Eddie. You know, I've kind of compared him in my brain over the summer to like we're getting like our Blake Martinez back.
Yeah.
Just that guy, like you don't have to know his name. He's going to make 140 tackles and he's going to be consistent.
Right.
Can help lead that defense. We'll see with the cornerback signing with Benjamin St. Juste. I just don't think there's enough tape to know how consistently he's going to be able to play corner. To the draft class, our first round pick was Micah Parsons. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Never heard of him.
In the second round, they got Brandon Cisse, cornerback from South Carolina, defensive tackle, Chris McClellan from Missouri, edge rusher from Penn State, Denny Sutton, and then center guard, Yeager Burton from Kentucky. They got a couple of, they got another cornerback, Damani Jackson, then they got a kicker. But in those first four picks, the big deals to me are they did not use a load of picks to trade up in the second round or even to try to get back into the first round. And I think they got an absolute dog in Brandon Cease. I have watched some interviews he's done. I watched him on Richard Sherman's podcast. So D-back to D-back. And the chip on his shoulder for falling as far as he did is going to be huge. I think he can come in and hopefully ascend to that Jair Alexander, not necessarily this year, but I think he can be that kind of player.
Sure.
With a little better tackling. The D tackle we took in the second round, the story there is his academy coach from when he was young, high school, was also Devontae Wyatt, same academy from the youth. So they got started by the same guy. So there's some connection there. But I loved our draft. I didn't think we rushed anything. We traded back. We loaded up for next year, which projected wise is a better draft. So I liked what we did. We didn't reach. I was really happy with our draft. I didn't think it was it's not a big splash draft.
Right.
But I think they got the guys that can help continue to build this team for the future. Biggest storylines for me. Do Goots guys produce? Does J Love continue to get better? It can't just be, we got to get rid of the bonehead mistakes in crunch time, just the silly, lazy mistakes. Can Van Ness earn the 5th-year option that they just picked up, which as an Iowa guy, I love it, but we'll see. What are we going to do in that wide receiver room? It's gotten better, but we'll see now with a three-headed monster, I guess, if you will. We'll see what happens. And then what happens with Josh Jacobs. It's a weird, here's what sucks. If anything he did is true, roast him, toast him, cut him, I could care less what happens to him for the rest of his life.
Right.
Unfortunately, we live in a world where we've seen the Trevor Bauer situation.
Yeah.
Who has been completely, and I'm not saying the situations, I don't know enough about either of them, but I'm just saying we can't make these decisions based on the court of public opinion.
Right.
So you got to let it play out. If he's guilty, like I said, get out. He won't last in Green Bay anyway. The type of business they run it won't allow it. But you got to wait to see, I get they arrested him, but no formal charges still. He's been at camp. So, I hope none of it's true. It's horrible if it is. But we got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get to the bets, we got a couple questions in the chat. They might be roasting the Packers a little bit, but let's see.
Seems like it.
Are the Packers ever going to get a real wide receiver one? Josiah says.
We'll see what Matthew Golden does this year.
Absolutely. And Nick says, since 2023, Jordan Love has decreased in performance, passing yards, and touchdowns. Are you concerned about him?
Do I know that he's going to do I feel like we're a sure bet to get to a Super Bowl in the next 3 years? No, I think he has to improve.
Mhm.
I think he's shown signs of being a great quarterback, but again, the boneheaded mistakes end up hurting times, exponentially worse. So we'll see. He's got to be more consistent in crunch time. Am I worried? No. I hear all the time, the big contract. I don't think the salary cap is real. If you have owners willing to rework deals, the salary cap is not a real thing. So I don't even care. Like, I can't believe he's making however much money. And I don't care what quarterback it is in the NFL. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes making $60 million. If you have a millionaire that's willing to rework the deal, the salary cap isn't real.
No, agreed. They just stretch it out over time, over and over and over.
100%,
Let's just move it there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then cut him the last year with a lower cap hit and no dead money.
Yep.
Who cares? So he needs to get better to be, to take the next step. But I wouldn't say that I'm worried.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about their win total. It's at 9.5. Over is -140, which is a little juiced. Under is +115. Miranda, RD, don't fall out of your chairs, but I'm on the over.
Thank you. Good job. Smart betting, J-Mo.
I know. I wish I could say the under, but it's a smarter bet to take the, especially with the plus money of the under, but it's a smarter bet to take that juiced over, because I think this is a team that no matter what they do in the playoffs, they're going to win 10 games. They're going to win at least 10 games, in my opinion.
I agree. And what's crazy for me is that I don't think the win-loss adjust for you look at it, it's like, they're going to be without Micah for 8 weeks. The first 5 games outside of the Bears game are not what you'd call difficult.
Right.
Obviously, any team can win any game, but when you look at it for not having your top edge rusher, it's a manageable schedule. So,
Yeah.
I definitely think the over is the play.
Absolutely. They're +215 to win the division. What do you think of that one?
I'm sorry, I was looking at something on my screen. Say that one more. +215 to win the division.
Yep.
It's not a bad bet. It's not who I think is going to win the division. So,
fair enough.
If you like the money and you have more faith in Matt LaFleur in late game situations than I do, it's not a bad bet. I mean, it's plus money on a team that will contend for the division. I just don't personally think they're going to win the division.
Yeah, absolutely. Other bets I have, you mentioned the top 2 to finish in the division, Bears, Packers. That's +390. Can be any order, and it's +390. I really like that bet.
That's perfect for no order.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And if you can get juiced odds for putting in an order, I don't know if anybody will let you put them in individually, but I'd go Bears, Packers.
Yep, absolutely. Fantasy
that
football.
hurts so much.
I'm not going to argue with you saying it.
It hurt me to say the over on their win total. So I get it. I get it. Fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Yeah. What you thinking?
We don't draft Packer players. So no, just kidding. No. Tucker Kraft. I'm kind of looking at him. He's currently going around tight end, an ADP of 5 for tight end. And
I will say that.
I do. I like that one. Jordan Love is going QB 18, Josh Jacobs, RB 18, Christian Watson, wide receiver 29, Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden are wide receiver 42 and 50. I'm not too crazy on those guys.
Yeah. Tucker Kraft, absolutely. I'm in on Tucker Kraft. You already talked about it a little bit, RD, that it's, which receiver is going to pop off any given game. I would say I like Jaden Reed, wide receiver 42, but when do you start him? I mean, at 42, maybe that's just a flex piece, so it doesn't matter, But what do you think fantasy football wise for these Packers?
If you're in a 2-quarterback league, I love Jordan Love.
Yeah.
When he's your second quarterback and you have a true starter at number 1 or a true number 1, somebody that's in the top, I think that's a fantastic second to have. Josh Jacobs to me is undraftable.
Yeah, until we know.
at least in the top. I don't think I draft him in the first 7 rounds until the information is known. Especially in a redraft. In Dynasty, he's getting older. Maybe you don't want him anyway, but that's still a risk. In a redraft, you can't touch him in the first 8 rounds.
Yeah.
No.
There's too many unknowns. I think as long as Christian Watson is healthy, he's the true number 1 on this team.
Yeah.
He has proven time and time again when he's on the field, he makes that offense run in a different way. Whether he's getting the ball or not, but I don't think you get into this era of actually paying wide receivers in Green Bay without taking shots. Who's going to be the deep ball guy? Who's going to have those 5 or 6 game that can be absolute home runs and week winners? And that's Christian Watson. I think you're going to get a little more steady slot action from Jaden Reed. I think we're going to see a lot more from Matthew Golden this year, but for fantasy purposes, it's not that much different than it has been. I just think with the contract that they gave Watson, if you're going to have a number 1 there, that's who I think your guy's going to be.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll go through the next teams a little bit quicker because we don't care about them. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see RD's in his garage. If you don't live in Iowa, it is hotter than Hades today. So he's got to be. I mean, our AC's running. We're inside, and I'm sweating. So I know RD is sweating his ass off. So
my sister and I took the kids running errands today around Des Moines and stuff, and kids are getting grumpy. I was getting grumpy.
I say you sound a little grumpy. On the phone,
and then saying. I realized when I got off the phone with you, ooh.
I'm starting to get a little post-sunset breeze coming through the garage. So it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's better than last time we had RD on. Suddenly he was in a tornado warning. So I guess, the heat's better than that, right?
100%. That was the kids got scared, had to go to the basement.
Yeah.
It didn't end up being, the storm was pretty wicked, but no damage, fortunately. But way better out here where it's just calm, little breeze. It's all right.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about these Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, the Vikings who had a 9-8 record. Their biggest, offseason losses. They lost edge rusher Jonathan Grenard, which is probably their biggest loss. They kind of had a quiet free agency.
Yeah.
Minus 1 main move, and I'll just jump right into that. They brought in quarterback Kyle Murray.
Kyle? Did you say Kyle?
I did say Kyle. Kyler.
He is just a Kyle.
Just
typical
Kyle.
Kyle.
When he comes over to Minnesota, we
Kyle
drop that.
now.
He's Kyle.
Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy feels like a mid quarterback room to me. I don't know.
But what does Kyler Murray make this team much better, or
I don't know.
Yeah.
What Kyler Murray are we getting?
Yeah.
I think is the question. And not that I know that we've seen a different version of him, but having that deal voided, you can't feel good the way he ended in Arizona.
Right.
Do you get a chip on your shoulder? Unfortunately, there is a new Call of Duty in November.
I was going to say that.
If we get this motivated guy, this team has the weapons to be very scary.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Flores can flip any defense. They're going to be a problem, whether or not they'll be good, great, or anywhere in between. But they're going to be feisty. They're not going to be easy to beat. But this is, I think, maybe the one team in the entire NFL where it all comes down to what you get at quarterback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is the $1 million question. They're good at wide receiver. They got a decent running back room. Brian Flores defense, Kevin O'Connell coach. It's just, what are you going to get at quarterback? I think it'll be 500.
Yeah.
At best. I don't think he's enough to get to 10, 11, 12 wins. I don't know that he'll win 3 games in the division.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Josiah in the chat, says, keep one, cut one. Max Brosmer, he's the ultimate bros, the second coming of Tom Brady, and Carson Wentz, that old ginger fart.
Cut Carson Wentz.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Kyle has a good chance being the starting quarterback. Anything JJ props, I'm going for the unders. Nick Fortune says, I agree with that. Real quick to go over their draft picks. They brought in defensive tackle Caleb Banks out of Florida, linebacker Jake Galde, defensive tackle Dominique Orange out of Iowa State, offensive tackle Caleb Tiernan, safety Jacoby Thomas. They picked up some other players. Just jumping right into their win total, 8.5. It's -105 for the over, -115 for the under. I'm fading this team. I'm on the under. What do you think, RD?
I agree 100%. And just real quick on their draft.
Yeah.
How bad does it feel to fire a GM who clearly had no idea what he was doing?
Yeah.
Only to have another GM when you get to the draft that gives you like those same exact vibes.
Right.
Like, that's not good.
Right.
No.
Like, how long until KOC is just like, man, I'd rather be an OC in Kansas City
Yeah.
than coach this team for one more second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, their old GM, he used PFF to grade some draft picks and drafted from there reportedly. The new guy seemed to be doing the same thing.
Yeah,
You're right.
that reach on the D tackle was just like, what? It was just like, I literally text. I'm good friends with a couple Vikings fans. I texted them. I was like, I thought you guys changed GMs. They were like, shut up.
Oh, that's good. For other bets, I have under 2.5 division wins. You kind of mentioned that. That's -115. So if they don't get to 3, they don't hit that. I don't think they get to 3. I like the under.
I agree with you. Somebody is going to sweep them.
Mhm.
One of the 3 teams. And that means that they'd have to sweep one of the other 2 teams, which I don't see happening. So
Agreed.
I think the under on division wins is perfect.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy?
Yeah, I'll turn it
Ready?
over to you.
Well, I was circled Juwan Jennings. He's going at wide receiver 60, and I think that could be potential good value there.
Yeah.
Which I had a note, like he was at the other free agency. They signed him in the free agency.
Yeah.
I missed that. And then Jordan Mason is going at RB 39, and just looking at the Vikings, I like those guys at those.
I could
At
buy
that
into
value,
that. I could
those
buy into
values.
that. Yeah.
Avoid the quarterbacks.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about Justin Jefferson either. He's going at an ADP of wide receiver 5. And I think Kyler Murray is better than McCarthy.
I might be better than McCarthy, and I don't throw that nice of a
but
style.
his top finish last year was wide receiver 13 in week 18.
Yeah.
And he finished up in the 25th position. So
Not what you expect out of
it's
Justin
not
Jefferson.
for how high it gets drafted.
Right. Yeah. What do you think fantasy wise here, Artie?
I don't touch the quarterbacks. Agree 100%. I
Mhm.
think Jordan Mason at the 39th running back is a steal. Aaron
Agreed.
Jones is a year older. They cut him.
Mhm.
He's only back because he was willing to accept the new deal, whatever it was that they gave him. So I think Jordan Mason is a steal.
Yeah.
I think he has, I mean, on any given week, he has top 10 running back potential. Is the line there? Probably not the greatest, but Jordan Mason has proven that if you give him a bell cow row, he can produce.
Yeah.
I think adding Jennings, I'm not mistaken, they still have Addison, right?
They do.
I
Mhm.
think those 2 hurt each other.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, Jet's a risk, but with great risk comes great reward. And if there's
True.
one thing that Kyler has shown an ability to do, it's scramble and throw a deep ball late.
Yeah.
So I think the home runs are there for Jet. It's a risk. Let's see. So I don't even know who else you'd put in front of him. I'm not putting Neighbors in front of him. I take Chase in front of him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only guarantee.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that being said, he could finish as wide receiver 25. But that's the risk reward. He could easily, if Kyler is even halfway acceptable compared to JJ McCarthy and the rest of the trash that the Vikings had last year, Jet can have a productive fantasy football season.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I'm just looking at the ADPs real quick.
For half PPR.
For half PPR, number 1, Jamar Chase, like you said. Number 2, Puka Nakua. I'd take him.
He
Number
went
3,
crazy.
yeah.
That scares me.
Yeah, you think a little natural regression. I understand that. JSN, he's going at 3. Him, I do worry about regression because I think that whole team regresses.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then 5, Justin Jefferson.
So I could justify Amon-Ra because he's Mr. Consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is.
Not as many home run games. He has a lot of very good games.
Yeah.
PPR will get you up to that 20-point mark, but he's never really having that, that 35-point breakout. Outside of that, like Puka Nakua, the off the field stuff is what scares me.
Yeah.
Like when you start, feeling like you're a little Conor McGregor running around LA and you can do whatever you want, that's not conducive.
Yeah.
To great play.
Not as bad.
You still got Devontae Adams stealing touchdowns.
Yeah.
They added a youthful tight end. So yeah, I still think Jay Jet right up in the top 3 or 4, but it comes with some risk. Amon-Ra I might take ahead of him just because there's not a lot of risk outside of injury, which can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
He's just so consistent. He's going to catch the ball. Even if he has a down game, Goff's going to get him the ball in the next game. But I think Jay Jet's right where he should be ADP wise.
Yeah. Not Puka Nakua, not as bad as his brother Samson, who played in the UFL and spit on a fan, and then just recently was accused of stealing a car. We're going to talk about the last team.
Genetic.
Right. We're going to talk about the last team in a little bit here. We'll go through that quick because nobody likes the Lions. I know Packers fans. I know Bears fans. I know Vikings fans. I don't know many Lions fans. But before we get to that, going to let you know that we're brought to you by Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade spreads, money line totals, futures, and much more. Kalshi has everything in there available in a ton of states. New Kalshi customers get $10 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your official data tool for dominating MLB, WNBA, golf, and World Cup. Let Rhythm's models help you cash in or build your own to dominate the books. Get your 7-day free trial to tail their models, or you can build your own. And if you're looking to go premium, use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25. All right. Let's talk about the Lions.
Let's do this.
I guess I was so focused on the Bears-Packers rivalry last year and all that. I completely forgot that the Lions finished 4th in the NFC North. They went 9-8. They Vikings had a tiebreaker over them, but 4th in the North. Their biggest losses, in my opinion, linebacker Alex Anzalone, cornerback Mick Robertson, and running back David Montgomery.
I heard that.
All right. In the free agency, they added offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, running back Isaiah Pacheco, center Cade Mays. Everyone else was just kind of depth and backup pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They lost Terrion Arnold.
Oh, yeah. He was cut today. Yes, he was
Mhm.
cut today. He is facing some serious jail time, it sounds like. So he was drafted in 2024 in the first round. He becomes the first rounder from that draft class to get cut. And it's amazing to me, these kids that just are stupid. They're just dumb kids and they make dumb decisions. Like, you're getting millions of dollars. Keep your life together. Come on.
Well, and it's not like there's not a case study of guys in the last 5 years who have done this stuff. And it's like, you're not okay. You might get away with it.
Right. You might.
But the repercussions, if you don't get away with it, I mean, I don't even know how you can do some of this stuff. It's like you have that many millions of dollars, hire a driver.
Right. Exactly.
Hire someone who's not going to let you be an idiot.
Right. Absolutely.
RD, the Lions were pretty quiet prior to the draft. And I know you kind of already talked about this, but did that surprise you after they finished 4th overall? Did you expect them to be a little bit more aggressive?
No. And so, and this kind of ties into what I think the big story for the Lions is this year is he's earned it, but they have so much faith in Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
And my worry, if I'm a Lions fan, as we've seen with a lot of teams throughout history, good coaches' messages can get stale.
Oh yeah.
And so now as you're dealing with injuries and now you don't have the same coordinators because you've done it, you had 2 great ones and they left, right? Now you got new guys in and they have their voices, and are they as tight or run the offense and defense as well as the guys previous? And at some point, like, if we're not winning, do I really want to go down and eat ankles for this coach and bite knees? And, at some point you just, and so that's my worry for them. Am I saying doom and gloom, they're done? No, I think he is a great coach. I think they have the ability to improve, but the hits they've taken in the losses, the amount of money they have in, 6 guys, it's the Jahmyr Gibbs show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately think I like the Pacheco signing. As a backup, you lose who'd they have last year?
David Montgomery.
Yeah, that's right, from the Bears. Yeah. He leaves. You get Pacheco trying to prove something, but I think this is just going to be. I think you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs have like Barry Sanders attempt type numbers, maybe not just in carries, but in touches, in carries and catches. I don't think this defense is strong enough. I don't think they did enough to improve. Their back end is going to get tested, and it's outside of Byron Branch breaking people's legs or whatever he wants to do. I mean, I think they're going to get taken advantage of over the top. I don't think their defense is going to be consistent enough to win the division.
Yeah,
and the fact that they're favored is crazy.
Yes.
It is crazy. Just real quick to cover their draft picks: Derek Moore, offensive tackle out of Clemson; edge rusher edge rusher out of Michigan. They got linebacker Jimmy Rolder, cornerback Keith Abney, wide receiver Kendrick Law, defensive tackle Skylar Gill, Howard, and edge Tyree West. Let me tell you why this doesn't matter. Dan Campbell, you're absolutely right. The speeches, there's a good possibility they do get stale, but without Ben Johnson, so he coached the Lions for a little bit before Ben Johnson, and now he's without. They are scoring 5.63 points per game less. I know you're saying, oh, that's only 5 points per game, though. That's a lot. Ben Johnson, I know I said it when he came over to the Bears. I said, I'm hoping that the Lions are not good because they lost Ben Johnson. I'm hoping he's that good. I worry about that being the case. So jumping into their win total, they're 10.5 over -110, under -112. I'm taking the under. This team won 9 games last year. I think they're going to struggle again. I truly believe, I know I'm biased, but I truly believe without Ben Johnson, this offense continues to struggle. Artie, what do you think?
I don't disagree with you. I think, like I said, I think Gibbs is just a generational talent. But the Lions have had generational talents that have put up massive amounts of yards.
Yeah.
Not equal win totals before. So I agree with you. It's the under. Last year we talked about how the range of possibilities in this division is so crazy because you could really see it going anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the Vikings or the Lions stepping up past the Packers and Bears this year.
Agreed.
I mean, I think they're going to battle for that. Do they get enough wins to catch a 7 seed and hold the tiebreaker over the other team in the division? Because I think they're both going to medal right around that. I don't know if either of them will get to 9, but I think that 9 and 8 range is, in the mix.
Absolutely. So like me, I'm sure you're staying away plus 180 for them to win the division. They are the favorites, like you said. That's a gross price. One other bet I do like, though, Jahmyr Gibbs over 1,249.5 rushing yards at -110. He went over it last year. I think he goes over it this year again because, like you said, I think that comes down to feed him.
Yep. He's just proven it that he can handle it.
Yeah.
Still have Pacheco there to eat up grinding yards because whether he hits holes well or not, he still runs like he's angry at the ground. I think Gibbs is going to explode. I think you take the over there as well. What's his over-under on touchdowns?
I don't have that in front of me. I think it was 10.5, but I'm not positive.
Now, see, that makes once you get over the double digits, that's a little scary, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for him to have.
Sure. And maybe they will give the ball to Pacheco, but they loved feeding David Montgomery closer to the goal line. So if they don't have Pacheco become a complete replacement for Montgomery, Gibbs should have more touches there. I'm going to go ahead and assume, because I hear you talk about Gibbs almost all the time, it feels like. I'm
Oh,
going to
all the
assume,
time.
maybe not all the time. That's probably an exaggeration. But when we talk about fantasy football, you talk about Gibbs
I
a lot
do
because you
talk
had
about
Gibbs in a
Gibbs.
lot of leagues.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're still on Gibbs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is going at RB1.
Yeah.
Looking at like Sam Laporta, he's going around tight end 8. And I feel like that feels pretty accurate for him. We already talked about Amon-Ra going at wide receiver 4, which I agree with.
Yeah.
Jared Goff at QB 16 seems a little low. He finished just QB 8 last year.
His ADP always kind of gets shat on
It does.
because it's not
I
a
have
sexy
noticed
pick.
that.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not a sexy
But
pick.
he's
Mr.
a
Consistent.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
exactly.
solid. I thought Jamison Williams at wide receiver 26 was interesting because you can get like Rome Odunze, Christian Watson, Marvin Harrison, all wide receiver ones at a lower price than
Yeah.
Jamison Williams. I do understand he did finish as wide receiver 10 last season, but I don't know if I don't see him doing that again.
I agree.
RD, what do you think at wide receiver 26? Do you think that's a steal, or would you stay away from that?
No, I stay away from it. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, it was wide receiver 10 last year.
Mhm.
Let's just go through. Let's take away the top 3 games. And I'm not saying we're actually going to do this, but let's take away the top 3 games. Let's take away the bottom 3 games, and now tell me what that number is, because it's not wide receiver 10.
Right.
Mhm.
Agreed.
If you hack off the huge games, he is an
Yeah.
average wide receiver who should have made the step forward last year.
Right.
If he's going to be that consistent guy, I'm not
Mhm.
saying he's not going to have the home run weeks, but if you're looking for him, if you're at 26, you want somebody that realistically is going to get you 4 to 8 catches consistently every week. I can't count on him for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I absolutely cannot count on him for that. And in years where the wide receiver actually makes a jump in year 2, what kind of production are we going to see out of Tesla this year?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because he is not just the home run threat. He's a little more consistent. He runs a little more close routes. I don't think Detroit does enough since Ben Johnson left of why are you not putting Jamison Williams on some drag routes where he has to, where a linebacker has to shift onto him and he's done.
Right. Yeah.
If all they give him is go routes, and I don't know if that's by design or if that's because that's all he can run.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's the NFC North. This was RD. You can find him on the X at bet_the_bar. RD, let everybody know. Let's plug the Moose a little bit, because I've said on this show and some other shows multiple times that I love it because it's in a big city, right? You're close to the big city, Des Moines, but I feel like it's a small local bar because it's just the prices are right, the atmosphere is right. So tell us about the Moose.
Flying Moose, 8980 Hickman Road, Clive, Iowa. I like to tell people it's like we're a melting pot as far as the types of people you're going to run into. You're going to run into every ethnicity of people. You're going to run into people that are 21 just getting out to the bar. You're going to run into 85-year-olds that have been going to the bar for 60-some years. The vibe is definitely like you're drinking in somebody's basement.
Yeah.
We're very down to earth. We got a lot of pool players. We got dartboards. Buy one, get one drinks every day till 8:00. I'd rather sell twice the amount of drinks at half the price than half the drinks at twice the price. So we've stuck to that, and we've been very fortunate. We're coming up on year 14. So
Awesome.
That's been a blessing. And come check us out.
Absolutely. Congratulations on that. That is awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us and talking
thank
NFC
you.
North. We appreciate always. I know we like to jab each other's team a little bit, but it's always fun talking football
Hey,
with you.
I had way less jabs this year because
You did. I mean,
I got nothing.
You-
I got nothing.
and you probably expected more jabs from me, didn't you?
No, I feel like the longer we've been friends, you still have the bias, but there's more of that realisticness in there.
Yep. I'm aging, is what you're saying. I get it. All right, we're going to talk a little whiskey, but RD, thanks for joining us. We
Thank
appreciate you coming on, and we'll have you back again, of course.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you. You always do a great job. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, sir. All right. You want to talk about, we've already said we're doing Basil Hayden. We've gone through a lot of Basil Hayden stuff.
I don't have a lot of Basil Hayden history for us today, which is okay. I'm going to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about the distillery, some cocktails that they throw out on their website.
Oh, okay.
We've gone through all 8 generations of the Beam family distillers. But yeah, just to remind everybody what we're drinking, we drank the old fashioned with Basil Hayden's dark rye.
Yeah.
You've heard us talk about this whiskey before. We have tried this before on the show a long time ago, I believe.
It's been a while.
And then we often bring up Basil Hayden dark rye because it is good. It's good.
'Cause it is good. Yeah.
But yeah, they use a Kentucky rye, and that gives your spice. This dark rye, they say on there, there's like oak, dried fruit, subtle molasses. I'm not going to go into that stuff. They really focus on that.
Yeah.
On their site about their whiskeys. They're very proud of their Basil Hayden whiskeys. But they
Got to tell you that distillery is proud of all their whiskeys.
All of them.
If you read
All of
that
them,
book I
I
talked
know.
about last week, you'll understand what I mean.
Yes, but they start with the Kentucky rye. From there, they use a Canadian rye from their award-winning Alberta distillery, and then they layer that in. There's a touch of port, and
I did not know there was Canadian rye in this. Interesting.
yep. But yeah, it's also 80 proof. I guess not again, but again for all the Basil Haydens, they're all
Yeah.
80 proof.
Yeah.
So we kind of discussed that that's a little bit of an easier to drink proof.
Yeah.
We tend
agreed.
to not go so low in our proofs, but this is a
good for
one.
beginners that want to get into whiskey,
Mhm.
though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bottle score stays the same, I assume. I gave it a 3.3. You gave it a 3.7. How about that cocktail score?
I love it.
It was very good. I agree.
5.
A 5. Wow.
I don't think I've given an old fashioned a 5.
I'm not sure you have. I was going to give it a 4.2. So
It's good. It stands out. There's so much character in this old fashioned.
yeah.
I prefer drinking the dark rye neat. I don't know that I've ever had it.
I'm not sure if we've put it in a cocktail before.
I think when we reviewed it before, I don't think
Oh.
we were drinking it in a.
Or
I don't
I
know.
bet we were.
Were we?
I bet we were.
Did we?
We just don't
I just
remember.
don't remember it. Well, it's probably because it had a big ass ice cube that was watered down, melted, or
no
not a-
whiskey stone.
yeah.
Oh boy.
No, but this is it's really good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't think it was a 5 good, but a 4.2 is still a really good
And I
score.
love how dark it is. A dark rye, but I love how
Mhm.
dark the
A little bit
the
of that
whiskey
port
is.
flowing through on the nose. I mean, to me, you
Mhm.
can smell the port.
Oh yes.
Like,
it's like this is okay. So we talked about how the Basil Hayden bourbons and their whiskey is like it's thinner. This
Yeah.
looks syrupy in the glass.
Yeah, it is.
So I haven't tried it
Agreed.
yet. Straight. Let's see.
By the way, chat saying
Yes.
huge score, a 5 for an old
I
fashioned.
know.
Is that the first 5?
It's the first 5. I don't remember ever saying a 5 on an
I don't-
old fashioned before.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I'd have to check our tracker, but I don't
So,
remember either.
we will
So
have
if
to.
you want to make an old fashioned, you got to get
we
it.
gave a 5. I gave a 5. Am I being too generous? No,
Well,
I don't
I gave
think
a
so.
4.2. So I would say yeah.
This is a
but
go-to for me. It's one of my it's a go-to.
yeah.
I think we've talked about it before. If we're gonna go away for the weekend, we're gonna take a bottle of whiskey with us and
Mhm.
sip on a little.
This is one we
This is
grab,
one.
yeah.
This is a common one that we go to.
Yeah.
It has so much character.
Yeah. Absolutely. So on the nose,
Mhm.
I think it smells really good. Again, you get that port. There's the whiskey smell, of course, as well. You
It's-
can tell it's spicy rye. I feel
It
like.
smells spicy.
Yeah, a spicy
Mm-hmm.
rye. Canadian whiskeys, because there's got that Canadian rye in there, is often a little bit lighter. I bet the port makes it a little syrupy. So I think that having a
Mhm.
lighter whiskey is a good counterbalance. I'm giving it a 3.5 on the nose. She's thinking. You went right for the tasting. You forgot.
No,
to,
I
oh.
smelled it already. I'm very familiar with this one.
Mhm.
I would give it a 3.8
Okay.
because there's a little it smells good on the nose. Something about the port and the spice, the way that they hit, it's a little sharp.
A little sharp. Okay.
That's why I didn't go higher.
Not to be confused with a little shart.
Oh my God.
How about on the taste? Because what are you getting on there? I mean, obviously you can taste the port.
Yes.
You get spice from the rye. Like you get that little
It's
kind
like,
of peppery, I feel like.
I almost want to say like a date.
A date.
Like
Like you want to go on a date with me?
No,
after David?
dates. Like the date.
You get a date. That's the fruit you get from it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
Yes,
overwhelmed
because
by pepper rye.
dates have like, you can use them in place of caramel. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
in certain recipes, and they're like very rich.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
in my opinion.
I'm not exactly getting it, but
Mhm. But it's that
I get
port
what you're
mixed
saying.
with the something with the rye there. I'm getting taste of like a date. I'm a jewel
Taste
date.
of a date. That's fair.
Mhm.
I'm not getting quite that. It's more of just the port and pepper spice for me.
Mhm.
But so what would you score this as the taste?
4.5.
Holy moly. A 3.5 for me. So
Just a 3.5?
yeah, so obviously you enjoy it more, but
So okay, so truth comes out. We take this bottle. We're like, oh, this is a go-to. But you grab it because I like it.
well, yeah, I mean it's good.
Well, yeah, it's good,
it's
but I don't
good.
like it that much. Is what you're saying?
It's
If you rated it a 3.5, you didn't even give it a 4 that it at least deserves.
sorry. I think it's because I am more of a bourbon snob. I'm more of I like ryes, don't get me wrong, but if I was going to grab something, I usually grab a bourbon
You
over a
do.
rye. That's all.
You're a bourbon snob. Ryes have so much more character.
I like ryes too. I just if I'm going to grab one, it's usually bourbon. Yeah,
it is usually bourbon.
it is.
I love this. I love
give
like
already
this
the old good, better, best. By the way.
Yeah.
Anyways,
missed opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that.
I'm shocked at your 3.5. It's kind of
didn't
offending me.
Didn't mean to offend you. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight, apparently. No, it's really good. I just, I don't know. The pepper spice was taking over a little more for me than some of the fruitness. That's all.
I think it's overall a very good. I would recommend this to anyone looking to try.
It was really good in the cocktail.
Just,
I will say that.
I would say this is crafty because it's that port.
Yeah, a little different.
There's a little bit of port in there.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. You often see whiskeys that are aged in port barrels, right? But this isn't. This is blended with Canadian whiskey and port. So
it's like you're not just getting like the port from the barrel. You're getting port from the port.
Right, from the port. From the port. Mom saying it sounds like you're taking 2 bottles of booze on the next trip.
That's what I gathered too. I realized we will no longer be just grabbing this one because I know the truth now.
Well, it's good to have options. It's good to have options.
How many times have we grabbed this though? I was like, oh, and I even thought you liked this so much. So I know like the first time I grabbed it, I was like, oh, I know Justin really likes this, so I can't go wrong picking it.
Yeah.
But now I know it's only a 3.5 because that's pretty low for me. For something that's
better than average.
The first time we had a bottle of this, you like
my tastes have changed a little.
Okay, that's fine.
You adapt.
They've changed.
Yeah.
Just shocks me.
I'm sorry to shock you. Got anything else you'd like to add besides that you're shocked and stunned? Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
No. No. We appreciate RD stopping by, chopping it up.
Always fun. Always a good time.
Yeah, good old Packers-Bears rivalry. RD and I, we don't shit talk each other with that rivalry. We just hope that our team wins. That's all there is to it. That's all I have. We will be back, I think, later this week. We're looking at the scheduling, but we think we'll be back later this week. But just subscribe, set those alerts so that you know when we're going live. And Miranda, my old fashioned is gone. I'm about to finish this. So cheers to you.
Cheers.
Old-fashioned football. Yeah. Whiskey in the left hand, microphone in the right. You ready for some football tonight? Pull it up, light it up, crank that sound. Old-fashioned football, we holding it down. J. Morgan Miranda, that power play combo, talking NFL fire, whiskey in the bottle. Bring the ice, cause they dropping heat. Barrel strength bet, knock you off your seat.
Yo, game time, baby. Grab your glass in your phone, keeping up with stats, single barrel picks, taking over the zone. Props and parlays blowing up like code. They decode the league like a whiskey mode. Old-fashioned football, that's the crew.